We had a nice hotel in Kiel with inside parking for our bikes. Weather was nice when we left, sunny and warm. First we stopped at a motorcycle gear shop, as someone needed to gear up. Now everyone had what they needed for further traveling, and it was time to get on our bikes and head out of Kiel. It was not so sunny anymore. Clouds were gathering. And it started to rain, so we stopped under some trees to put on our rain gear. It was pouring down with rain, and there were traffic jams in Kiel, so we had to take some detours to get out of the town. On the way out of town, one got separated from the group, so we stopped there to wait for him. United, we hit the autobahn, and at the first stop we met a guy who told us the traffic was completely stopped on our route, so we decided to take an alternative route and head further east. When we went off the autobahn, it continued to rain heavily on us. And we had to keep behind this truck for many kilometers. There was not a possibility to pass. It wasn't until we came east of Hamburg that the rain stopped and it started to dry. It is important to take regular breaks as well as to eat up kilometers on trips like this. And after a break, we kept going south on the autobahn. We knew that the first few days would be tough, with autobahn riding to get to our destination in Croatia and Slovenia. Here we are riding over the Elbe river in the outskirts of Hamburg. I had been having problems with my RAM windshield mount for the GoPro since about Hamburg. It was working perfectly in the beginning, but on the Autobahn it started to get loose on the windshield and it almost fell off at one point. After inspection, I saw that the bolts holding it were plastic and they started to bend in the heat, so they did not hold it properly. At this time, I decided to take it off and try to come up with a solution in the evening. I now have steel bolts instead of the plastic ones, not straightforward to get on the road as they are 1/4 inch, but not millimeter bolts. It was sorted out when I got back home. We spent the night at the hotel in Helmstedt. Helmstedt was on the border between East and West Germany back then, and an important border crossing. In the morning, the GoPro is back in function. I used the most simple solution to use duct tape to secure the mount. After getting petrol and having problems starting my bike for a while, a bit nerve-wracking, we headed towards Magdeburg. I was fascinated by the clouds ahead and over us when we were getting closer to Magdeburg. In Magdeburg we had to visit an electronics shop, which also gave us a possibility for a cup of coffee. When we were on the Autobahn again, we had to check the sat-nav to agree on which way to go now. Then we hit a complete stop at the traffic. But we managed to squeeze through. We had lunch in Weissenfels, a pretty historic old town with about 40,000 inhabitants. It's so relaxing to ride off Autobahn after having been there for a long time. Yes, we need more Autobahn to get further south. Finally, we're off the Autobahn for some time now. We are on smaller roads now and can enjoy the views better, like seeing the church towers in Ålsnitz. After spending the whole day at the Autobahn, we really enjoyed the roads, bends, forests, small villages, hills and valleys. We enjoyed those roads so much that we completely forgot to consider hotel for the night. Suddenly we realized that, stopped to consider, and found one hotel nearby. We now had some rain and wind blowing, so it was getting more important to find the hotel. Now this hotel was closed, and it turned out that most hotels in the area are closed Mondays and Tuesdays, and this was a Tuesday. We decided to go back to a small town we had just ridden through, Markneukirchen. There was supposed to be a hotel there. But when we came there, the street with the hotel was closed, and no hotel in sight. When we were trying to figure out what to do, this white car pulled up to us, made a phone call, and asked us to follow to a place to stay for the night. Of course we did that. We followed the car through the town, and up the steep hill, not knowing what to expect. That was our hotel, and we did get to the very steep parking. The locals were sitting outside for a beer. This looked really homey. We had to share bed 2 and 2, but it did not matter. It was really homey, and our host Sabine was so helpful and friendly. I can highly recommend staying there. In the next episode, we meet horny Luby, we have lunch at the most beautiful square, and we take our bikes upstairs with an elevator.